Hello, everyone, and welcome to the She Said What She Said podcast, where we interview badass women in the sports world and beyond. So, tonight is actually my 20th episode, which is kind of a big number because apparently my buddy had sent me these stats. It's like 90 some percent of podcasts don't make it past 3 episodes. And then of those, like 90 some percent stop after 20 episodes. So when I hit 21 next week, because guess what? I have a guest booked already. So it's happening. I will be a part of that exclusive club of people that keep podcasts going. So kind of excited about that and excited for some of our future guests. But we're not talking about the future. We're talking about the present because tonight is every night's fun. But tonight is a particularly fun night. And you guys are going to know why, because, hey, it's a Penn State track and field night. I try to limit these to once a month because, can't just be Penn State track and field 24/7. But here we are. So my co-host for the evening, you guys know her. She is the NCAA 400-meter champion in 2012 London Olympic 400-meter semifinalist, Miss Shayna Cox. Hello.
Hey, Sherry. How's it going?
I'm great. And hey, Frank. I'm his favorite girl. I love you too.
Hi, Frank.
How are you?
I'm not too bad. What about yourself?
I've been excited for this episode since we finalized the date for it, which was a couple of weeks ago. So, like I said, I'm always excited for episodes, right? Like I like anyone. I only interview people that I'm interested in interviewing.
That's what I'm saying. We haven't had a show yet where I wasn't incredibly interested in who we were going to be talking to. And today, I think this is probably the most excited that I've been to sit down and talk to someone.
Yes, because as you guys know, Shayna was one of my training partners for my last 2 years in college. So we worked out together every single day. Actually, we were 3 years because you had a red shirt. I won't remind you about that little no biggie. But we also had a third one. We had a trio. It wasn't just you and I running. There was one more person running with us together every single day. And I had this incredible honor of saying that I trained with 2 Olympians. Most people cannot say that. That both of their training partners were Olympians. You can't say it because I wasn't one. You only had one.
Well, what was the common denominator?
You're too sweet. But yeah, so tonight we're going to talk to my other Olympian training partner, our other Olympian training partner, who is becoming quite the media mogul herself. So she is doing so many exciting things. I last saw her before COVID hit. So that was fantastic. I saw her down in Arkansas because she's doing big things in Northwest Arkansas. But without further ado, the one, the only, the legendary Dominique Blake.
Woo! Listen, that intro was just, I thought you were introducing Beyonce. Ladies, first of all, thank you so much for having me. What an amazing time. We made it. We made it through COVID, ladies. We're here with each other, looking fantastic. Honestly, if somebody told me we were going to be this vibrant post our collegiate years, I would have said, I don't know, but this is pretty good. Y'all
right?
Y'all are doing fantastic.
We're trying. We're trying to be like you.
Right?
Listen,
Shoot.
well, I'm like, who are they talking about? I'm trying to live up to this intro. Shayna, did you know all those wonderful things about yourself? Thank you so much, Sherry, for reminding us of all our accomplishments. It's, listen, I think we work really hard, to have these legendary stories to tell our grandkids or our kids, or just, get to a place in life where we're like, oh my God, we did it. Mm-hmm. But I think you ladies can both agree with me when I say when you're in the moment, like you're just going through not the motions, but it's just like, okay, this goal, I just ran that PR. I got to get to the next PR. I got to show up to practice. You're not really conscious until somebody like Sherry has a wonderful podcast and like starts to read your accomplishments. You're like, who is that?
Wait, who is she talking about? Is that all
Who
me?
is she talking about? So anyway,
I know.
shout out to you for having this amazing platform and having me
Thank
on
you.
and having the most badass, can I say badass?
You see me.
We've said worse.
Co-host. Okay, I don't know how PC I can be. My radio show is pretty like, it's not street, but it's class with edge, you know. So I'll take it to wherever y'all take it to.
No, you are allowed to curse a little bit. I think the children are mostly
they're mostly asleep. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we have had a little guest appearance by one little munchkin.
Okay.
Won't name any names.
Does it start with Z?
No, it starts with an E.
It started with an E. Yeah. He wanted to see what was up.
My favorite munchkin.
There's no favorites with the munchkins here. So, but yeah, I mean, this was our group though. This was our group.
The crew, what, Bang Bang,
2004, 2005. Because you started fall of 2004.
I did.
Then 05 and then 06. And we were together, the three of us, pretty much every single day, twice a day. And that was just on the track and in the weight room.
I started with the Captain Johnson era, got recruited by Jeff McCauley and realized that there was going to be no Jeff McCauley when I got to college. You know, Jeff McCauley looked a little bit like the whitest man, and once you met him in real life, you're like, oh, he sounded like the blackest man, and once you met him, it was the whitest man
ever. Absolutely.
The whitest man ever. But shout out to Jeff McCauley. He did a wonderful job at recruiting and molding some talented athletes. And then that kind of spun us into the era of the great Chris Johnson, who, congratulations to him, who is now going to be the first ever Black head coach of the University of Arkansas. So really excited about the upcoming season and all he's continuing to do here in the track and field capital of the world. So I hope you guys get to come and enjoy indoor, outdoor season.
I need to come down back to Arkansas and
come on. Now is the time. Guess what? I'm now dabbling in real estate, so I got a couple properties, so you guys don't have to pay hotel fees, and it's right by the track. So I have right. So you just got to get here, and we're gonna have a good old time.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I'm calling
we will be looking at the
when
schedule.
I touch down.
Right after this, let's look at this schedule and figure out when. Because
let's do it. Listen,
let's do it.
Garth Brooks is here this week. It's
overdue. It's long overdue.
Okay. Yeah.
So, we need a reunion.
I'm excited. I'm excited to have you guys anytime.
But Dominique, I will need access to a kitchen because you know what I'm going to make for you.
Oh, honey, what are you going to make for me? Tell me.
I'm going to make you the rum cake.
I get to be fat. Yes.
I will say.
So you can have my personal kitchen, okay?
Yes.
It's all yours for the rum cake.
For the rum
100%.
Cake, I'm 100% there. One of probably the most disappointing times in Dominique's life was when she was over at my place. She saw a cake in a bundt kind of pan, and she went in. But it was just an angel food cake. There was no rum in it. I'm so sorry.
Why did you bring that up? Why?
I remember this. I feel like.
Yes, it was terrible. I went in so hard, Shayna, because I'm like, who is making angel food cake? Like, this is just stuff you see in Walmart. I don't know anybody that's making.
I didn't make it. It was bought just to put like a little strawberries and whipped cream on it to have a little something. We were in the middle of season. We can't get like super fat in the middle of season.
Why would you even tempt me? Like, listen, I'm from a Caribbean household, right? We ain't making no angel food cake. We're making rum cake, black cake. Okay, Shayna, what's the other cake? Shayna's a little British, so she might be into other cakes and biscuits.
Shayna's gotta run away real quick. So, but it's you and I.
Keep it going.
I still apologize for that moment. I really do. It was like one of the most. I just remember your face. It was like,
Well, guess what, Sherry? Guess what? I am now newly retired, a year fresh out, and I can eat all the cake I want.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So,
Yes.
I can't believe though that you're just freshly retired. Like,
I know, at the tender age of 35. Ooh, I got all the goodie out of it. How about that?
oh my God. Like the fact that you were still competing
Yeah.
in your third, like, I'm sorry, what?
And competing well.
Yeah,
Listen.
competing well.
Well, I had a 4-year vacation, so
Fair.
I got to do all the things and come back and do some more.
Fair, but it's like, cause when we talked to Connie, she stepped away for a few years, came back, and then was the U.S. national champion. Like, whatever.
Sometimes a break isn't bad, you know? And so here's what I tell athletes all the time, right? Because when you're in the thick of it, especially in your collegiate years, and your first couple years being a professional and being paid by a shoe company, you're thinking, this is it. This is going to be my life for forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then age 25 comes around, and then you're like, oh my God, in 5 years, I'm going to be 30. What else am I good at? Oh my God, I'm going to have, especially if you're a woman, all right, a female athlete, you start to think about your eggs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want them to be scrambled. So unlike male athletes, you're like, I definitely have a clock right now. And am I going to have to make that decision with career versus family? And it's a constant thing in your subconscious. And I talk about it all the time. But getting back to what my original point was, I tell athletes all the time to be conscious about where they are in their career and what's really important, because it goes by very fast. And so you don't want to become one of those athletes where you don't know what taxes are, you don't know what you're paying your manager or your agent, and then you get done by force, where it's like you popped a hamstring and you're forced out of the sport, or you have this long career and all you have to show for it is medals that you can't take to the supermarket to pay for anything. So you have a cabinet full of medals and you're not financially stable or educated, right? So I always encourage athletes to, every day they wake up, to add value to themselves by way of figuring out what else they're passionate about. And then once they figure out what else they're passionate about, they'll never truly have to work a day in their life if they're able to have mentors and successfully put a stream of income behind it. Because if you're really passionate about it, you'll go hard for it. It'll be the thing that, gets you up out of bed every day, even when you don't want to do it. And then until you're able to make money from it. So that's been my formula. And so it's been working.
Breathe through about 20 questions that I had.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Just cross
one of my biggest questions for you was going to be like, so as a professional athlete, a lot of people, here, you're an athlete, you need to focus on track, you need to focus on what you're doing. And you're right, you get to the end of that road and it's like, okay, well, what's next? What can you tell people about preparing for after track that you can do after sports that you are doing, that you can do while you're actually still competing? That's not going to take away from what you're doing.
So I just want to let you guys know that I get paid $10,000 to come and talk about this, just to give my formula.
I'll send your check in the mail.
I know.
Thank you, Shayna. Shayna, we know you. Shayna, we know you got it. All right.
Stop.
Come on.
That's a lot of rum cake, but I will start baking.
Well, guess what, Sherry? Don't get me to marketing, because I will definitely put that rum cake out there for $250 a pop.
Oh my God.
And then have it sponsored by T-Mobile.
Okay, there you go.
So listen, so here's what I will, all jokes aside, here's what I'll tell everybody, not just athletes, but if our audience is predominantly athletes and they want that blueprint for success, I will say, don't wait until after you're done competing. I say, do it now while you have the attention, while you're sharp, while you're like really excited, and while you have the eyeballs and the focus, right? So yeah, we're focused on sport, but we're also focused on buying like clothes that look really amazing on our body, keeping our lights on, keeping ourselves, our bills paid, getting rest, going to the weight room. So it's really just prioritizing on what you want to focus on. And for me, I think my break from sport was definitely one of absolutely my biggest blessing, because I got the opportunity to be in the thick of both worlds and see, oh my God, like life is continuing to happen no matter what. And I have to be responsible for my success no matter what. And I just said to myself, never allow anybody, any entity, any individual to dictate how you make a living, your trajectory, and just your success. You know what I mean? So once I got back to the place where I wasn't even exceeded that, got back on the track, ran faster than I ever did my whole career, you know, after taking a break, I was just like, oh wow, I can totally manage like have a business, have 3 businesses, still compete on the track, still pour into other people and be a mentor. Because for me, service is everything, right? If you're not helping somebody else, what the heck are you doing with your life? And really focus on relationships. So I was focused on building brand relationships. Shayna and I went to the 2012 games in a time where social media, Instagram just popped, right? 2012, right?
Yeah,
that
right,
was.
Ladies?
Right. So I don't know how many people are on this chat or on the tuning in right now, but no matter what time you join us on this show, I want you to drop down in the comments and let us know how old you were when Instagram or social media really became a thing for you. So Instagram was a thing for us in 2012 when we got to the Olympic Games, a little bit before. And so I paid attention to athletes and entertainers who were really like doing it in a way that we've never seen before. And I call it the Kevin Hart effect. The Kevin Hart, and for us in the track world, Lolo Jones, the Lolo Jones and Kevin Hart.
Man, big fact.
Shayna, you know what I'm going to say.
Listen,
Lolo Jones has not competed in how many years? And she has Red Bull, Asics, you name it. She's been on Big Brother on NBC, and she was
on
relevant.
the challenge on MTV 2 years ago, last year.
Right. And her claim to fame, not her claim to fame, we all know that she was a wonderful athlete, but her narrative and the story that she tells through social media is one of a movie or a Netflix series, right? She will relive and allow us to relive the emotions of when she got this close to winning that gold medal, and the fact that she's a 40-year-old virgin. What?
Yeah, that too. Yeah. Everyone knows.
So,
everyone knows.
It's the heartstrings, constant heartstrings being tugged at, and then the sex appeal because she's a pretty girl, so she sells that, and it's also the can I have her? Can I have her? That thing that sells in marketing, right?
Yeah.
So all of that, and Kevin Hart just letting companies know, like production houses, hey, if you want me to talk about the movie that you're putting me in, you don't have automatic, right? You don't have automatic access to my social media. So I tell athletes, hey, if you don't even have a contract or just an apparel contract and you have 100,000, even 50,000 followers, imagine if one of your loyal followers paid $1 or a cent for a wristband, and they did that every month. Where would that put you? And if Nike dropped you, how great would that be for you? And when you start to think about it, makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you have really exploded. I mean, you have 150,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
And that's for your personal page, because you have your business pages, you have your media page. You're busy. You're busy as hell.
Sherry, I'm just like, here's the thing. And I think Shayna has 2 kids, an amazing husband, wonderful family life, and she finds the time to do all these other things and still be present in her friend's life. Like she's probably, I can say I have maybe 3 super consistent friends in my life, and she's definitely one of them, right? Where no matter where we are in time, if we get on the phone, we won't skip a beat. And that's very important to me. So I'm just like looking at where we are, and I'm like, oh my God. Again, relationships, right? So I think that's a theme of the night.
Absolutely. Shayna, we're going to ask a question.
I was going to ask a question because you did. I mean, we've talked about you had a 4.5-year break.
Yeah.
And it's, as an athlete, it's hard to stay motivated through the summer. It's hard to stay motivated through preseasons. It's hard to stay motivated through a season that doesn't start off well, but you got to finish off. How do you stay motivated for 4.5 years? How do you not let your mind wander, or did it wander? Were you constantly still in that, you know, when you're present in track, like you're present in the thick of it? Did you stay that way for 4.5 years? Or tell us a little bit about that. Like, did you experience any struggle during that time?
So I think I have that time, and here's how my brain works, right? Everything is relative. So wherein it would seem like the worst thing in the world, I always look for the beauty or the blessing in the things that are packaged as the worst thing in life, right? Because who tells us that something is the worst thing in life? These are learned thoughts and notions and feelings. If somebody slapped you and told you should be happy since the day you came out, you know, you were born, you wouldn't look at it to be offensive, or, you know, you would that pain would start to feel like pleasure, just like a lot of other painful things become pleasure to us over time. Okay. So I say that to say my brain was just trained to be patient. As athletes, we know it takes 20-something years to run 50 or 49 seconds. To the average person, that's insane. Yeah. So to pro athletes, I think time, experience, and success is relative. And I think that was my first level of training in becoming the next who's Dominique Blake gonna evolve into after that right after that season is gone. So I'll credit a lot of it also to my parents in letting me know that there's no such thing as overnight success in anything that you want. You have to work really hard for it. If you're that person willing to show up first and be that person willing to leave after everybody else, you know, you earn it and you deserve it. However, success to somebody, to other people, it doesn't have to be success to you. So just because something looks and presents itself as one way to you guys or people in TV land or the rest of the world, it could definitely be very different in my heart and my spirit and my soul. Shayna, I'm pretty sure that Coach Johnson and you, maybe sometimes just Coach Johnson, knew you were ready to break a national record or have a world leading time before you even hit the track and before the race even got you. You know, Sherry, he'd tell you, girl, you ready to run fast. He'd be like, no way. I just got out of a boot. So like,
I wasn't in a boot, okay, but I was running my workouts in sneakers. She was in the boot. I was just, I was in the little brace thing.
No, just, I mean.
So listen, we're not even going to talk about that.
Okay.
So we've all had experiences in the boot and getting out. Your confidence is just like, can I, you know, am I even prepared for this? But he knows. And just like the creator that created us, you know, before we even existed, he has a plan for us. And we have to, if we're going to say we have faith, you know, faith without work is dead. And you have to believe that you've invested all of this time, energy, passion for a reason. So I worked really blindly, knowing that it had to work out. I didn't give myself a plan B. I took the opportunity to travel, moved to LA, moved to Atlanta. And what I knew to be true was I had to be surrounded by great energy. So I put myself around my family that was there. My family's split between New York and Atlanta. And we also have a family home in Jamaica. And so I knew if I was there, I was going to have good food. I was going to have good laughs. And I would be surrounded by love, and it'd give me an opportunity to figure out who I was at 25, because that's when your frontal lobe is fully developed and you really become an adult to start making sound decisions. At least, you know, we try our best to. So I learned as much as I could about business, sales, marketing, and just really took that in stride to develop myself in becoming who I knew I was going to be once I got back on the track in 2016, 2017. So yeah, I was like, look, it's out of my control. I'm not going to stress anything that I cannot control. I'm like, you know,
I hear ya.
until then, yeah.
Yeah, you change what is it that you change? You focus on changing what you can change, and everything else you kind of just,
Absolutely.
you know, let it be. Yeah.
That's why there's a God. Excuse me. Yeah.
So,
Great question, by the way.
So I want to know about a young Dominique, because I don't know your superhero origin story. Like, when did you first realize that you were extraordinarily fast?
Jamaica, which we just went through. I don't know if you've been paying attention to track and field on the younger level, but we have a thing called champs, right? The interscholastic championships, right? So this is where the Usain Bolts, the Shelley and Fraser Prices, the Elaine Thompson Haraz are discovered. The Brianna, can't remember her name, Brianna something.
Brianna Johnson?
No, audible athlete. Anyway,
Yeah,
they're two Briannas. Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
yeah, you're right.
And now, and now recently, her name is Brianna Liston, and she looks like a reincarnated. I can't say reincarnated because she's not dead. She looks like Merlene Ottey. She looks identical to Brianna
really
Liston.
Does.
Wow.
Nobody has said that yet, and I think
she does.
I had to go look this up later. Oh my God!
Listen, I'm going to say something to track alerts because this is crazy. I was like, is that her? By the way, Merlene Ottey is almost 60, so I'm like,
is she still running? Is she?
Yo, she was still competing at like 45,
50.
My bad.
So she has the Guinness World Record.
That
for
is
the
crazy.
most athlete that has attended the most Olympics. Olympics, excuse me.
Yeah.
But so my philosophy, honestly, well, let me make sure I'm answering your question correctly because we can fall into so many holes here.
We can, but I want to know when you personally realized that you were fast. Like, when did you feel that?
Champs, Sports Day. So in the Caribbean, we celebrate.
What age? Grade.
I'd say 5. I'd say 5. So here's the thing, right? I'm not freakishly tall, but I've always been the tall kid at the 5'10" flat foot. I've always been the tall kid at the back of the class. Not the tallest girl that's going through puberty at 5 in second, right? But it hit me at 9, and so I always realized I had that extra ability, like second grade, just in sports days. So what would be field day for kids in America or PE? Every day, every week, week in PE, it would be preparation for sports day. And from sports day, your school and your coach would select you to be a part of the team to go compete at the championships. So I would always be that girl that would be representing like a prep school that would always end up like, with the kids from the country running barefoot, but I got on some Puma spikes and I'm like, why is everybody else not wearing spikes? Because they don't start wearing spikes until they get to maybe 14. So even today, when you watch and they're running at the National Stadium in Jamaica, a lot of the kids, I'd say at least 60% of the kids are not wearing shoes. So can you let's really think about that, right? When Coach Johnson wanted us to rehab or do like basic strength work throughout the year, and especially in the off season, can you guys not recall us taking off our shoes, going on the turf, and doing specific exercises? So imagine being from a very hellacious terrain in your country. One, you're walking up and down hills. So it's not the yam, guys. Everybody wants to know the secret and why Jamaican people or people from the Caribbean are so fast. It is naturally by design because of where God has placed us on the planet. We're walking up and down hills every day, building up our hip flexors, and we're barefoot most of the time. So look at these kids, them more so than a lot of the city and town kids, right? Like myself. So they're practicing and competing completely bare feet. So by the time they get to high school and to
put a spike on them,
oh my God, they're going to fly. They're going to fly. Their foot development and their reaction to the ground is going to be unmatched. So there's a secret. Fun fact. Now you know.
Did not know that.
Dang, I did not know that at all. And what age did you come to the U.S.?
Oh, I was born here, Sherry. I was born in New York City, girl.
Well, I mean, I know that, but you know,
Yeah.
I know
So
you've
I
been
was born
around
in
that.
New York.
When did you come back?
Okay, so I was born in New York, raised in Kingston, Jamaica, moved back to New York for high school, it's like around 12, 13, right? And then went to Penn State. And then after Penn State, I moved back to Jamaica to be with family and my family business. So, yeah.
So I have a question because like very few people can relate to this and know about this. Talk a little bit about the competitiveness of high school track and field in New York. Because it's not, I mean, there's fast people come from everywhere. You always get some fast people from Texas, from Florida, from California. The high school track in New York, the culture of it. Talk to us a little bit about that.
It is borderline crazy. Looney Tunes.
It's insanity. Okay? It is actual insanity.
So there are so many subcultures, but especially in New York, I don't know if this is like all around the nation. You have the culture, the subculture of how coaches behave. Then you have the culture of New York officials, because I don't think any officials in the nation or in the world.
Remember Andy?
Andy is still there.
She is.
So she is. I went to Melrose 2 years ago, actually, and I saw her there, and I was like, "Wow,
oh my god!"
She like needs to be grandfathered into like have a gold hat,
something
instead of the red hat. Anywho, I want to let everybody know that the culture of track and field for high school in New York City is actually like none other. Like you have cross country, where you're at Van Cortlandt Park, right? And then you have indoor, where most of the indoor meets are at the Armory in New York City in Washington Heights, where I live maybe 20 minutes away from there, 25 minutes. And then, you have outdoor season, where you have the opportunity to travel all around the nation, especially if you're fortunate enough to make it past states, nationals, and then compete for your country for junior teams or whatever. But so I'm going to give you a very good example of how weird it is. So, and for those of you who are a part of different sports, you can let us know, drop down in the comments if your sport is like this. But for track and field, you can be friends with somebody and not be friends with them when you get to the track.
Oh, hell yeah.
You will absolutely stare in their eyes and totally walk by them. Not say a word. Ooh. Or you will be in the warm-up area and they will find everything under the sun to talk to you about. And I don't know if this is a tactic to break your focus, or if they're just nervous and they're needing to display some of the nervous energy onto you. Now, there's an Instagram post about this. There are the 4 people that make up the relay. There's the super passive, quiet one, maybe that's falling asleep. There's the one that can't stop moving around and like stop shaking out. There is the talkative one, and then there's the one that's throwing up or something.
Okay, and which one were you?
I was.
Tell me, even if it's not.
I was a chill. No.
What was yours?
I do my warm up. I don't want nobody talking to me, and like, don't talk to me like nervously, because I'll just walk away from you mid sentence. Because you're not gonna do that to me for no reason.
Offload their stress onto you.
Oh man.
No. I'll hit you with. I'll be right back, and I'll stand right over there 5 feet.
Just look at you.
No. I'll be right back. You know how Coach Johnson goes, "Let me hit you right back," and
then you talk to him 3 months later.
Man, I'm still waiting for that hit back, right? Like, oh, he said he's gonna hit me back 3 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I just show up to the track and I'm like, so
yeah,
right. Anywho, so yeah, I think I was the chill person with the headphones. And if I knew I had enough time, I'd possibly fall asleep. But I was not the person eating all the crazy things like hot dogs and burgers and pretzels before my race. Nope. Learned that lesson freshman year. Yep.
Did you throw? Wait, what did you eat? A hot dog? Was it a hot dog?
So
why would you
at Penn State? At Penn State,
we were at like regionals or something like that. Was it you?
I think she ate the pretzel. No. Someone ate a pretzel.
Wouldn't have been me.
And
I learned that in high school.
In high school.
Learned that in high school, guys. So Let me tell you something. It was the qualifier for, it might have been a New Balance meet where, you know, when you get in the blocks, set, I raised my hands, I ran over, this is at the Armory, true story, right? Running a 200. Walked over to the bin, threw up, right? Wiped my mouth, you know, all the residue, went back into the blocks, reset, and won the race.
What?
Right.
Hey, you just had to get a little lighter.
What did you eat?
I don't know, but whatever it was, I never ate it again.
Oh God.
Yeah, I was just happy that I won. That's all that mattered, because all the embarrassment kind of goes away, kind of like my armpits at here at Nationals. Shayna Cox, do you remember that this ongoing story that our coach, and I can speak about it freely now, I'll own it. So Coach Johnson will always remind everybody that the ESPN camera zoomed in on my armpits because I was leadoff leg, and I must have been so nervous the entire weekend. This had to be Tyson or Nationals. I did this routine of a stretch, a hop. You know how we hop, bunny hop? Yeah. You know what I mean? We got to do all this stupid stuff before we get into the blocks. And definitely did a sexy, and that cameraman, shady, shout out to the shady cameraman, did a tight zoom in my armpits, and Dom forgot to
Wait, was this a Tyson?
No.
Because
I think it was my birthday weekend, so it definitely had to be Tyson.
Okay,
I distinctly remember either that weekend or maybe it was the following weekend where, or maybe it was that Nationals and it was at Arkansas where you were starting and you were in the blocks and this camera zoomed in on your fingers and you had a chip on your nail, the tiniest thing. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I hope Dominique doesn't see that. I hope she doesn't see that. And I was like, I just remember thinking that.
Not at all. He still tells the incoming class about my armpits to this day. I'm like, you know what? If he could talk about my armpits, I could talk about when he was overweight.
Oh, boom! My God. Boom! Stop it. He's a bobblehead now.
Listen, he's a bobblehead European god.
Yes,
so.
European cuts.
Yeah, his European cuts are
very
just
svelte.
I can't wait to see what he's gonna look like next year. But anywho,
I'm just glad. So my freshman year, I went to Nationals with the 4x1. I was the alternate. I was like, Coach Johnson or Coach Jeff, can I just go home, please? Because it was like such a long season. I was like, you don't want me on the track for the 4x1. I'm a 400 runner.
Right.
But like, you know, I was the alternate, right? So we were at Nationals on one, you know, no one was running that day. I ripped my jeans in front of this guy that I may or may not I've been talking to at one point. Yes, we're getting intense.
Is getting intense.
Armpits and fat guys. But yeah, I legit ripped my pants like right underneath, like my butt, like my jeans just went rip. And I won't say the guy's name on here, but let's just say Coach Johnson knew who it was. His coach knew who I was, and I'm like, my butt is showing. My butt is out. At least there was camera.
We've all had those embarrassing moments.
We all have.
Come on, Shayna.
Oh, please. You know, I had them. I definitely had them. Oh, man. But, you know, those things, you know, experiencing those things with, like, your teammates, it's like those are the things that you remember later on. And I mean, every meet that I traveled with where Dominique was there, it was nothing short of entertaining. It was fun. And I think, like, one of the things, I'm going to tell you about yourself real quick. About Dominique, because, you know, really, like, we don't get a chance to say these things. Like, Dominique was literally the most consistent training partner I have ever, and the most consistent, like, one of the most consistent people on the team. Like, you knew she was going to show up to
practice. You think I'm consistent? Shayna, thank you.
And to me, being consistent is a bigger compliment than being just fast. Oh, she ran a fast time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that takes a certain amount of discipline, a certain amount of heart. Like, you were absolutely consistent. You got even consistent in your times. Like, Coach Johnson will always say, you're the most reliable athlete that he has ever.
That's why you ran lead leg
You were the most.
Yeah,
you know exactly what you're gonna get. If
it's gonna be within this one little half-second time that we're gonna get.
Very rarely did you. I mean, I can only remember one time where you got on the track and it was like, "What is she doing?" And you know what it was talking about? It was an 800.
Oh my God!
When you tried to do the 800, 400
that's his fault.
at Big
She
Ten,
took out in 48 seconds for her first 400, and we were like, "Ooh,
okay, it's over.
I think it's gonna go really, really well." Probably.
Oh, I was good until the 600, though.
You look good.
That was your 4th race in 2 days.
How about this, Sherry? You can only do something like that with a freshman because you're running stupid and you're running blind and you're running excited.
Facts.
Try that with somebody's senior.
Very excited. You were very excited. You were like, yeah.
But but that takes us. I mean, I said 800. Imagine how much heart that takes to go out and even that run your first half of your race that fast. I mean, even that's the kind of athlete that you want on your team. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always say this: when you go to war, you go to battle with somebody, when they come back, you want to make sure that they don't have any more bullets left in their gun.
Right.
You want to make sure that they emptied that thing. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure they left it, everything. If you come back and you still got some stuff. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But I mean, it's just like a testament to the type of athlete that you were / are, you know?
Absolutely.
Well, first of all, thank you for saying that. Like,
well, stop.
We had to give you a little.
Seriously, because it's very important. Like, look, most of the time people wait until people are no longer in their lives or no longer living for us to give each other our roses. And I make it a huge point to let people know how much they're appreciated, how much they're loved, and how much gratitude I have for any particular period that they are in my life. So I really, really appreciate that. I don't think we get that enough. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is, but I appreciate you saying that because it does lend itself to a lot of the experiences that I now have as a grown-up. You know, when people look out and they go, you know, how does Shayna get to have this, or how does Sherry get to have that? Well, to a certain extent, you have to be consistent. Somebody has to trust you enough to say, you know what, I'm either going to partner with you, I'm going to give you all this money because I'm going to invest in your venture or your idea or whatever the case may be, to give you that opportunity at success. And so for a lot of people, including myself, it's been nobody but God, seeing my success when nobody else is looking, in silence, in the dark, working, grinding, and having my popcorn moment when it was time. Like, I really don't, whenever I see people having their success, and, you know, I tell people this all the time, be like, cheer loud, cheer proudly, and cheer with true happiness for that person. Because 1, you don't know what they had to go through to get it. And 2, why be angry at that person when you wouldn't be willing to do what they did to get it?
So true.
For some people's success, they got it. I don't want it because I'm not doing what they did to get it. Right. Just saying. You know? Yeah, you're right. I can always have that seat and cheer very loudly and understand that it's just not my turn yet, or I'm going to go at a different pace or route, you know?
And I will say that's not disingenuous because I've known you for so long, and I could say that is a huge part of your person. You know, some people are like, oh yeah, I cheer for them, and you know, behind the corner, they're like, this fucking bitch.
No, girl, we go. I'm not that kind of girl. We go.
No, you're not. You have always been a genuine cheerleader for other people, because I felt it. You know what I mean? I have felt it over the years, and I appreciate that about you. We're gonna get all emotional, guys.
Seriously, people like message me and they're like, wait, so you really responded? Yeah. Like, what? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, who, if I don't message you, if I don't F with you, I just don't F with you, and I don't really make it a secret. Like, you will know. You know, I don't have time for gray areas. I'm all the way Aquarius. I'm very textbook type A personality. I'm either doing something or I'm not. I really just don't like that. That in between. It makes my chest tight and gives me gas. I don't got time for it. So anyway, I hope
talking
you guys can relate.
Well, you know, for talking, I can't relate to your level of success, but talking about success, let's talk about the year 2012, because I had a great year being a cheerleader that year. I know I've talked to Shayna about her experience. Now it's your turn. Tell us about the season that year, making the team, the trip to the Olympics. Spoiler, she went to the Olympics.
Okay.
How was that year?
So I'm going to go on record to say that 2012 was possibly the greatest Olympic year. And I'm not just saying that because we were there and I got to experience the Olympics, but being in the village, just being in a close environment with the greatest athletes of our time. Like, we're not going to see, well, maybe we will, we don't know, but we have not seen, or we're not going to get to know another Usain Bolt for as long as we live. We've seen a moment in time that was so beautiful, so legendary, and to call him a friend, call him a teammate, and be in also the close proximity and have conversations with Venus and Serena and Michael Phelps and, you know, all these athletes, LeBron James, and just be on the same lunch line with your tray, like just having breakfast casually, no big deal. It's just James Harden and his beard, and we're talking about the events later on. Like, what? Or, you know, enjoying the festivities and going to a party and hang out with Lil Wayne just because, you know. Yes. So when you're in the moment, I knew that it was a phenomenal time. But I also wanted to not be overwhelmed by it. And just by nature, I don't ever get excited about anything, even when it's supposed to be. It's like I don't want to say it's a character flaw, and I don't know if it's a defense mechanism that somehow I've just developed since childhood. But I don't get overly excited about anything until it actually happens. Right? So somebody could be like, "Oh my God, you just won $1 million." Listen, until I feel that cash in my hand,
in your bank account,
in my bank account, facts. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So until I got into the village, until I got on the warm-up track, until I got to be in, you know, the thick of it, I mean, it was just
not even like great. Trying on the team kit or anything like that. Like,
that was pretty cool. Getting into the room, getting the team gear. And it was pretty special. And then I'll tell you what made me realize how special that time was going to the Westfield Mall that was kind of connected to the village, and how people would behave, especially Team Jamaica. Team Jamaica, we had to literally have bodyguards walking to the.
I can see that. I can see that.
And the bodyguards were the throwers, the shot putters, the discus throwers. And people from other countries just assigned themselves as our bodyguards just to be able to be in close proximity, I'm sure, to Usain Bolt and the rest of the team. But what an amazing time. And then just getting out with everybody. Now, fun fact, for those of you who have read articles, we're filled with fun facts tonight. There was a shortage of condoms, right? And I'm like, why? Have y'all read articles about all the sex?
I have read
who is using these condoms, you know what, and how many do they need?
Look, first of all, you should use condoms. Have safe sex.
Shout out to all the people that are having safe sex. I get that. But our track and field, I guess we were thinking about it in the opposite way, because we were on edge kind of the whole time. Our sport goes till the last day.
And
of the
you're
game,
the very last sport.
We're the very last sport.
sport.
So we're not thinking about hanky-panky or any kind of, you know, laying around. And the beds are like this big. I'm like, what?
Yeah. You don't need a bed to have sex.
Right.
You don't.
This past Olympics, they tried to give them like cardboard. It still didn't stop them. I'm like, come on.
No.
All right. Anyway, but you got to think, if people are deciding to hook up in the village, you know, they're just some awesomely talented kids that are just going to come from that period of, you know, baby making. You got to think. I'm just saying.
Man, yeah.
The best of the best on the planet are in this bubble.
Look at Shayna's marriage. I mean, now they were.
I'm just saying.
That wasn't a one-night stand.
Those babies did not come from the Olympic Village.
No, they didn't.
No, those are not Olympic Village babies.
Those are not Olympic Village babies.
No.
But yes, that is a great example of two people being around each other, getting to, you know, experience each other, not just as adults and professionals in mommy and daddyhood, but they got to know each other in a time where they had a completely different lifestyle. So they know each other and their habits and their bodies in a way that a lot of other people don't get to. And that's a blessing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it made things interesting. I'll say that. It definitely did. So.
Imagine like growing up and just saying, yeah, so my mom and my dad are both Olympians.
Man,
so I have to become something.
I tell Ethan that because they had like during the Olympics, they had like a little like Olympic day or whatever. And I was like, he tells me all about it. I was like, because I don't talk about myself. I was like, Daddy went to the Olympics. And he's like, okay. Like, it's not that. Like, he's like, all right.
Okay.
What's for dinner?
Yeah,
right.
Where are my tacos? Yeah, that makes
sense.
Not.
Yeah, his tacos, exactly.
Or mom, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And you guys y'all look like you're very much in shape. Shout out to great genetics, but I think you've done a wonderful job of showing your kids. Well, I think as they get older, they'll realize, because when you're 5 or 4, what do you care about besides cereal and Dora the Explorer?
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Dinosaurs. So y'all have done dinosaurs. You've done a good job of keeping that balance. So, but I'm excited to see them hit the teens and when they start getting into sports.
I know. I need Coach Johnson to stay in the game because
he's young.
I need desperately for my children to be coached by him. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, my nephew is gonna be here in a couple weeks for the summer, and so I'm really excited. He's now stepping into puberty. He's my baby. I don't.
What nephew?
This is Sire.
No,
right? He's
13. He's 3 years old.
Definitely in my mind, he's 3 as well.
Why is he coming there? He's 3.
Look, 3-year-olds do track.
His voice is starting to do that little thing.
He is a baby. He is a baby who is 3 years old. Why is he coming there?
Yes, so I want to just show him the different sports facilities. Before you know it, it'll be his turn. And so, you remember, listen, we were actually the same height as we were when we were 13. Shane, I don't know about you, but I've been 5'10" for a long time.
Look, I've been 5'4" for a long time.
Quite a bit taller than me.
I stopped at 5'4".
It's the pineapple top.
Is it the bun? So, Dominique,
yes.
GoodDay NWA. Fashion Week. Mm-hmm. You have a radio show.
KISSNWA.
KISSNWA.
Morning Kiss with Dom Blake. Yep.
Your career is blooming right now.
Mm-hmm.
What has been like your favorite collaboration or the thing like you're like and Diamond Training? Like what has been like the thing
Toyota,
you're
T-Mobile,
most excited about? Yeah. It was like when you
I found her. She was in random. You did a partnership with Ellie, the fitness brand, a few years ago, and I didn't know about this, but I subscribed to them, and I literally had an email one morning. It was like conversation with Olympia, and I opened up. Dominique's in my email.
Why? My goal is to just be a better version of what Shaq and Steve Harvey is to the media and marketing industry. So, how Oprah is an idea. When we think about Oprah, when we think about Gandhi, we think about peace. When we think about Steve Jobs, we think about innovation. You know what I mean? So those people have transcended into ideas. Their energy from once being a physical being, they've done something so profound and great. And now they've transcended into an idea. So the work that I do now through my passion, honestly, is to transcend and to have whatever a legacy is supposed to be an idea that inspires people. And that's basically it. We only get what we should consider a short amount of time here. Before you know it, ladies, we'll be talking about our grandkids. We'll be talking about our trip to the vineyards.
The shuffleboard at the community center.
Yeah, right. So what did your grandbaby do for you? How many kids does your grandbaby have? Those are going to be the conversations before we know it. So we have to ask ourselves, what are we going to deposit right now to be able to have those years also be our golden era? Because I do believe that as we get older, every decade should be better. I don't want to get to 70 or 80 and be like, man, shoulda, woulda, coulda. So when I wake up, I'm on go, and it's a double-edged sword sometimes, because sometimes our personal relationships can suffer because, you know, you look at your significant other and you're like, oh my God, I'm still on my cell phone. Oh my God, when was the last time we went on date night? When was the last vacation we had? And I'm honestly, I'm a victim of that because I work so much, and it's a thin line that I have to say, I have to disconnect right now. Toyota, T-Mobile, Diamond Training, my team, you guys have to be put on pause. You know, now I will say, just to answer your question, the thing that I'm mostly proud of is Diamond Training, because we become NWA's #1 personal training company because we offer something that doesn't exist. And that came solely from my brain, which would obviously be considered my intellectual property. But I am very proud of it because it was just $0, my big mouth, and my passion that snowballed into what it's become today. And don't you love it when you start with something and somebody's like, ooh, your little business is so cute. Right? And then it becomes a thing that's everywhere, and then people that are strangers are now talking to them about it, and as if they don't know about it. And you know what I mean? So that type of deal, even an individual talent or skill set that you have, that you share with other people, but you have people that are in your circle or that have known about it for years, that have just not supported you or even thought twice about it because they didn't have to. But it grows and evolves and graduates into something that they're forced to talk about. You know what I mean? Kind of like Nike. Whether you love or hate Nike, you can't walk out into the world and not see it, the brand, somebody talking about it, representing it somewhere. So I would say when I go to bed at night and when I wake up in the morning, that would probably be the thing that I can walk through any area of life, and it's just wellness. We're considered all-inclusive wellness under one roof. So blink twice. As long as we know you're alive, we'll take it from there, and we do everything for you. So that has been, in addition to being an Olympian, has been the conversation starter. But then I say, okay, great, I'm an Olympian. Who cares, right? What else? Because I know so many Olympic medalists, gold medalists, and you get to talking to them for about 10 minutes, and
it's like, what else do you have going on?
They're boring as shit. Yeah, because that was their heyday, and now all they can talk about is their prime.
Right, kind of like I made varsity back in high school. Yeah, you're 45 or you're 50.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. So, the glory days. Yeah.
So my conversation is, okay, what's next? How can I help more people? And so service and duplication for me is really the biggest thing in my life right now, because if you can help other people do the thing that you do and make them more successful than you, then now we're really cooking.
And I know you talk a lot about mentorship. So I wonder, have you had a mentor?
Oh God, I keep a mentor and they make a lot of money off of me. I keep a mentor and I've just brought my therapist back on board. Nice. Mental health is something that a lot of people, especially in our community, Shayna, people in the Black community don't talk a lot about, just because culturally it's looked down on. But here's my question to anybody tuned in right now, to you ladies. You know, we have experts for our teeth, dentists, for our vaginas, gynecologists, for our cars, we go to the mechanic, you know, even for sports, we go to a coach. Why is it that we don't put that same energy or that same emphasis on the thing that controls our entire existence and our being, the thing that controls everything? It makes everything work.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I'm a huge proponent of therapy and, you know, addressing mental health. I feel like anyone who's an adult, like, that should be a part of adulthood. Like, you figure out
it should be part of relationships,
right?
Like having that person to help you learn to communicate, having that intermediary. It is so helpful for every.
Sure, let me tell you. If it's not too good for the Obamas, it's not too good for me.
No, I was in therapy for years, and y'all knew me before I was medicated. So you knew me when I was a little crazy. I'm medicated now.
Oh, stop!
It's great, but
you balanced out.
You're not balanced. I'm balanced. But that's the thing. Like, you wouldn't think twice about someone taking their medication for their diabetes. You wouldn't think twice for the high blood. So when you have a chronic condition, you have to manage it. And sometimes the managing of it is the medication. Why are we so against it?
Even sometimes, ladies, just having an unbiased attitude and ear to things that are happening in our lives, because sometimes we don't want to go to our loved ones because they might try and protect us and not give us the answer that is appropriate or necessary. You know what I mean? Or going to somebody that really doesn't have your best interest at heart, but they present well to be an outside. No, they just listening because they want gossip.
Yeah,
they want to go tell somebody else.
Story. Right? If they have the juice on everyone, they're gonna spill your tea too.
So I never ever, and Shayna knows this maybe a little bit more than a lot of people. I never make it my practice to talk about anything I consider an issue. Now, I will talk through something if you're an expert in that field, and I feel like you are in the solution business, because that's the business I'm in. I find solutions to things and I make a business out of it, or that's what we do, right? If you provide a service, essentially it's a solution. So I really thought it would be a great idea to have somebody, and if the accountability is me paying you, I know you're gonna show up and I know you're gonna do your job because that's what you went to school for. So, and then second to that is then the energy for me, because I have had therapists where it just energetically wasn't a good match. And so, you know, even though there's that financial responsibility there where I pay you for a service and you give me, you know, the product or the service back, I really look for good energy in everybody at this stage, at this 35-year-old stage in my life. I am uninterested in things that are not aligned with me. I let everybody know I am not for everybody. I cannot be for you, and that's okay, right? That is my non-negotiable right now going into my realm and preparing for 40s, because I'm excited for 40s. I'm 5 years out, but you know.
You got
I'm 2 years out. So but you know what? In June I'm going to, my sister turns 40. We're going to Hawaii for her birthday.
Ooh.
Good for you.
Exactly. Like 40 is something to celebrate. You know what I mean?
40 is the new 30.
It sure is.
30. In 2022, 40 is definitely the new 30, just because people are being more hip to taking care of yourself. And I'm just happy we back outside. Get this vitamin D. And I don't know if you ladies have started, but Botox is phenomenal. Don't wait until you need it. That's the key.
Man, I've been trying to, like, I haven't done it yet, but like I really want to, but I'm like,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Listen, just like mental health, don't let anybody shame you into not
doing what you want to do. Yes.
Yes. Do you and be you. Live your best life. Just saying.
Love it. Love it. So how did you get on the radio? You know, because you kind of popped up in the radio, on the TV. It is it's very different from the track, but you know, from the track, from the modeling, from, you know, the kind of the media events. Like, how did you get? I mean, you have the voice, you have the look for it, but how did you cross into that?
So I want to tell you something, right? I have so many goals that I've just written down since kindergarten that I don't share with anybody. I do share it with people that are very intimate with me and people that I know are gonna take care and protect my aspirations, because just because people are listening to something that you want to achieve, even if unbeknownst to them, subconsciously and energetically, they don't know that they're pouring negative energy on it. So I will tell you, before something comes to fruition, guide it, protect it with all your might, because that unseen subconscious energy is a hell of a game changer. You ever had something you've been wanting so bad, you go share it with somebody, and then all of a sudden you wonder, why can't this thing happen? It's like here. It's because humanistically we're designed to want something that somebody else has. It's kind of like a bunch of kindergarten kids. You don't know why, but you don't even want it half the time. It's like, ugh, they got it. I should have it. Why the heck should you have it? No, you shouldn't. That person worked hard for it and they really prayed for it and did everything to get it. So let them have it. Anyway, so radio is no different than anything else. Had the idea, just really obsessed and put that obsessive energy behind it, put myself in rooms and just I'm willing to do what most people won't with good values behind it, right? And like I will show up at a radio station and just ask to speak to the director, just introduce myself, give a business card, and show up like just presenting well. You know, that's something that we've moved away from now in 2022. Nobody's showing up to shake hands and to have that face-to-face. Everybody's like keyboard gangsters now. You know what I mean? So that old school direct face-to-face, shaking a hand, leaving a card, making a first impression, leaving us wearing good perfume, good psychological, memorable marketing colors when you enter a room, red, yellow, vibrant colors. If you guys notice on social media, whenever I'm hosting KNWA, it's probably a color that I'm wearing.
You
that
do wear a lot of vibrant.
Right? So that's not by coincidence. Look at my Instagram profile picture, right? So even if you don't know how to spell my name correctly, if you type in DOM, I'm the yellow girl. That's all people need to know. Whether you can spell, whether you can read, write, it doesn't matter. The girl with the yellow. That's it, because my name is hella long anyway. So that takes care of that. But radio, I knew, and I told myself, I think even as early as junior high school, when I get done with track and field, I want to submerge myself into media, right? Okay. Whichever came first, TV or radio, I did not care. I was going to take the opportunity and infiltrate every avenue of media. And through that, I would be able to affect and influence people in the way that I want to, right? If you grew up in New York City, you know about Wendy Williams, you know about the Breakfast Club, Tom Joyner, right?
Yeah. You don't need to grow up in New York to know them, because they're on Syndicate. They're on
Lisa and Dre.
Yeah. Back in the 90s, though, Sherry, back in the 90s and the early 2000s, it hit a little bit different. You know what I mean? Shayna knows. Yeah. WBLS. Yeah.
WBLS. Do you remember Ed, Lisa, and Dre, the radio show?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So just being a city kid and, not having all these social media, we took radio a little bit differently. We absorbed it differently. We absorbed and used our media and how we experience it. We took it personal. So I knew, listen, if Wendy Williams was on air, chances are it's going to be something to remember. And she was on air for a number of years. So I just really look at all the people that I aspired to be and took little bits and pieces and really just put my own character and natural personality on it. And I practice, right? Even when we're making stories on social media, that is practice. So I'm constantly listening to my tonality. My very first radio show versus, Monday's episode, I sound different. The texture of my tone and how I say my words are different, It's because I'm also paying attention and in tune to the greats. So if I start hanging out with Shayna and I start going on a walk with her and I look up to her, eventually I'm going to start moving my hips and my shoulders the way she does. I'm just saying, not even because not even because I'm trying, but just because I'm around her. Look, either she's going to keep up with me or I'm going to adapt and keep up with her. That's how it goes. So I'm keeping up with them.
Nice. And radio has evolved so much, like how you said it, right? Because there are so many ways. We have Sirius XM now. You just have so many different ways.
We're watching on radio.
We're watching radio. We're watching a podcast. But there's just so many ways. And on one of the other shows on our network, I got to interview one of my favorite morning radio personalities, Gabe B96, and it was just so interesting, like what he does now, because he does the social media, he does the TikToks, he has to. He's also on a TV show about the Chicago Bears. Terrible subject, but it is definitely the things that you're talking about. I see that same hustle in him because it's not just the voice anymore; it's now the face. It's now your social media presence. How are you engaging with fans during those times? Because you have to work harder for that time, right? So like if I'm in the car driving to a work meeting, which wasn't doing during COVID, but I did a lot before COVID, his was the channel that I normally would put it on. I might, switch away, but his was kind of my default. If I'm not in the car in the morning, I'm not really necessarily listening to the radio. He's like, you can stream it. I'm like, you're right. But it's just, it is kind of like just putting it in of like, yeah, that was my favorite morning radio host. Just kind of remind you can listen to me these different ways. It's like, that's right, I can. So some mornings I do tell my Alexa to stream him.
Right. So listen, so what you just said is so important because it has honestly changed the trajectory but the way we consume and experience media that we traditionally would be addicted to. So reality TV is now trampled because of how we experience social media. We don't have to wait for Lifestyles of a Rich and Famous or MTV Cribs to know how our favorites are living. Yeah. All we have to do, because now they're talking too much and now the idea of celebrity isn't even the same. We don't even hold them to the highest, like Beyonce is it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Her,
but then, and then everybody else is in between.
Everybody else is here.
Yeah, everybody else.
So
she can be a mystery, but everyone else uses it to build it up.
And she realizes that it's a double-edged sword because if we don't know what you're doing, we're not going to be buying your, you know what I mean? Now we got to be on, now if I'm a celebrity, I got to be on the TikToks. I got to be on this. And so Nicki Minaj actually came to a little crossroads there where she was trying to do the Beyonce thing, but she realized, look, these girls out here are beating my butt. Yeah. I got to get on these I got to get on the TikTok.
I think it's funny whenever, you could tell when Beyonce she goes and she posts. She's she's throwing breadcrumbs to the peasants. That's what I feel like. Here, take it, go away. I just feel like that's what she's doing. Like, here, take it, go away. Because she realizes that she does need to stay. She does still need to stay. Like you said,
I gotta go sell this Ivy Park. Right?
Yeah, right.
Yes. But I love that this is a wonderful segue and you guys can reel it back in, but I just love talking about hot topics and trending things. What do you guys think about just, what happened? I know I don't want anybody to beat me up about bringing this up, but the Will Smith and Chris Rock and Jada Pinkett just ordeal. Shayna.
Did you want me to answer? I mean,
yeah.
You go first. You go first.
No, there is no reason that you need to walk up on a stage and smack a grown man in the face on national TV. I'm sorry. And there is, but that wasn't it.
Look, I don't need a guy to fight my fucking battles. If you insult me with a joke, you're going to hear from me. I don't want my man. I have dated someone that thought that he was Mr. Tough Guy and was going to fight my battles. Mm-hmm. That ain't it. I don't like it because then they get all controlling and this and this. Nah. I am my own person.
I'm going to give my 2 cents. Go ahead.
Do not fucking embarrass me because it was just a harm. It wasn't the best joke. But here's the thing.
Her. Okay.
Well, I
would say, yes, as a woman, I would be very embarrassed if my man went and slapped somebody over a joke that I didn't like.
But not embarrassed to sleep with your son, friend,
girl,
and then put it on social.
Okay.
But no, this is the other thing too, because let me tell you this though, you cannot have a talk show where you put your own dirty laundry on blast all the fucking time, keep yourself relevant, and then not expect people to keep jokes about you relevant too.
But
so I'm not saying she brought on herself.
Hold on, Sherry.
Look, man.
We talked about
Shayna, double Dutch in here.
Hold on. Yeah, we talked about this a little bit on Facebook. So, okay, my stance. My stance is that was not the time or the place to walk on stage and I watched the Oscars from the top to the bottom. I watched the entire thing.
Bless your heart.
Talked about, I know, and I was like irritated, but they talked about Jada Pinkett the entire time. Like she was by far, I don't know if any of you two watched it, the whole thing, but by and large, she was the person that consistently everybody talked about when they got on stage. Like the show was hosted by a bunch of comedians. And it looked like at the beginning, they were trying to be a good sport. And towards the end, it just got kind of embarrassing because like she was like literally the butt of everybody's jokes.
See, I didn't know that.
So that's where that came from. It's not like Chris Rock said something and then he got on the stage and then like gave him 2 pieces and a biscuit. Like they were talking about her the whole time.
Okay.
And Chris Rock he said the joke. And it was a dumb joke. And it wasn't really that bad of a joke. And so he just kind of got what everybody else had coming.
So you're saying it was the breaking point. Okay. I didn't know that there were other jokes. I thought it was the only joke.
Yes.
Here's what I'll say. 2 or 3 things can be true at the same time. I agree with Shayna in saying that I don't think that was not the time and place, especially for our token Negro in the industry. Will Smith has never done a bad thing for 35 years.
He didn't even cuss on his rap records.
Right. So here's what I'll say. I believe that everybody has a breaking point. I believe that Jada is toxic, right? I believe that it is the love of his life. I believe that that slap was for a number of people, and it was just, like mental health, right?
He's tired.
He is tired, and he finally got the Oscar. So, and he knew he got it. So that joke to Jada, honestly, it wasn't even written in. But I will say, Jada, do you not recall Jada called on the entire Black community to boycott the Oscar? So the nerve of this raggedy, excuse me, the nerve of listen, hold on, pause. Let me finish. Shayna, this woman literally asked us to boycott the Oscars at the Academy for as long as we are alive, until they have Will, not even every Black person, because forget Hattie Mae McDaniels, forget all Sidney Poitier had to go through, forget all the women and all the people of color that had to just suffer. If Will doesn't get an Oscar, we need to boycott the Academy. Well, ma'am, who are you? First of all, if you didn't marry Will, now mind you, Jada was hot back in the day, but let's keep it funky, okay? The kids grew up and she got the red table and started talking too much and diminished their value as Hollywood's royalty. That red table broke Will down because there's no reason.
It's toxic. You should not put your dirty laundry, especially when your dirty laundry is banging your son's friend as an entanglement. But okay,
Anyway, so sorry. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you guys for
yes, that's fine. But this is why you're on the radio, because you can bring it out.
Yes, girl. This week we are talking about Tokyo, Tony, and Black China taking the Kardashians to the cleaners for $300 million, and we finding out all kinds of things. I can't wait to talk about it. Make sure y'all tune in every single Monday on KISS 105.3 FM. And if you're not in this region, the Stream by PPBC app, you download it, Stream by PBC, right? It'll take you right to the radio station, and you catch us at 9 a.m. Central every Monday. But all the episodes live on YouTube. As well.
I need to listen to these. I was about to ask you, because you're on it Monday mornings.
Ooh.
But yeah,
Monday mornings 9 a.m.
But like I said, you can stream. Got it. I will.
Yes.
I will be catching
Stream by
up
PPBC.
Got it.
Oh yeah. So and podcast loading coming soon. But man, I live for it. I don't make the stuff up. They just give me the news and we talk about it, and have our 2 cents.
I'm excited.
I know, right? Mm-hmm. I'm about to block off my Monday mornings. If you get we have a caller from a Michigan number. They seem to be.
Let her through. That's my girl, Sherry. Let her through. Let her through. We gotta talk.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Block off my time on my work calendar. Man, I got listening to do. But
yes,
I love it too. And you got onto the radio and TV right about the same time too. It seemed like it was a boom boom. Or were you on TV a little bit longer?
Radio
you were radio first.
Yep. So radio's been over a year, and a TV just happened within, I'd say, the last 4 months.
Oh, really? I felt like it was longer. It was
just because we see each other all the time on the internet. So but
like,
just like so, KISSNWA, Fox 24, KISSNWA happened just again. Me being frequent, just showing up when people think it's maybe beneath them. And the main host that they have, she is just a wonderful person in the community. However, she's been doing it for quite some time. Mm-hmm. And she said, you know what? If I'm ever not on air, I want this girl to be on TV talking to you guys through the airwaves or through your TV screens. So I've been really blessed to have that opportunity. And from there, other networks see you, people in the community, and you just begin again to develop your relationships and your familiarity through another medium. So that's really all it is. I just keep showing up and keep being available.
Well, we love to see you.
I love it. Final question though. Well, before, I mean, Shane might have final questions. When do you sleep?
I sleep very comfortably, and I actually require 7 hours. So
you get 7 hours with your schedule?
I definitely do. So we shut it down. Like we're the youngest, oldest people in my house. So like 6:30, we starting to wind it down to get cozy.
Erica's gonna turn the lights out on you in a second. I can
so is she like right there and like looking at the thing? Like
she's in our bedroom. She just actually opened the door and started kind of cleaning.
Right, I got you, girl. I know
that was my mom's signal for time to go. She start vacuuming under your feet. That means it's time.
I'm having a conversation. No, she's really cool. And honestly, I'm very grateful for her. Very supportive partner. And just as equally as ambitious as I am. So we get to really be each other's cheerleader and, just do all the superwoman things that we can do every day. But she's a little bit more of a reminder in the situation. Like, look, you got to take a chill pill. You got to slow down, man. And I'm like, okay, you're right.
So you do get 7 hours of sleep a night.
I do get 7 hours of sleep. I'm that person. And Sundays are my non-negotiable. I throw away my phone on Sundays. Don't text me. Don't send me a smoke signal. Forget about me until Monday morning, business hours.
I like it. And how do you stay, as far as I know you have diamond training, but but how do you, what is your workout schedule like? What up, T-Nick?
Right? Like, who's your shrink? I need to know that my shrink got a shrink. Right. Don't judge me. I actually cannot work out in my own gym. And I went and I won't say their name because they have social,
right? Too social to go into your own gym, or too much business. I get bombarded. I will never get to complete a workout. And if I try to go during odd hours, I'd be in there at 4 a.m. or 10 o'clock at night. So from open to close, we're nonstop. I would get bombarded by staff or by clients, and it would be impossible. I took my butt down the road to another facility and pay my monthly membership. Every time I walk in there, I know they all look at me like, what in the world? And I walk in there respectfully and shamelessly like, go my little, hop into classes, and they're like, she definitely can teach this class. Why is she in the back? And I'm in my hoodie and like my hat in the back, kind of like doing the classes. And I'm like, oh God, whatever.
Listen, however you can get it, that's how you got to get it.
No, it makes sense because I don't own a gym, but like, my main gym I go to, it can be like social, you know what I mean? Because so many people, you need to engage with everyone. You want to check up, people want to check up on you. So if I like need to do like a focused solo workout, I go to this other studio where I'm the only person there, and like I use my key to get in the off hours. I get it.
And if all else fails, I can really just go to Coach Johnson's practice and jog with the girls.
Yeah, that's all they can get out of me is a jog.
Don't do the Tuesday workout. Maybe come
definitely
in
not doing the Murder Mondays. Not doing that. I'll probably show up on Wednesdays when all they have is shakeout.
Wednesday, or maybe a little Friday plyos. Something fun.
Right. But yes, ladies, listen. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very honored to be in your episode. What is this? Episode 21, 20?
20.
Yes. And so is this is streaming now, and then where does it live? Where can people find us?
It lives on YouTube forever.
Excellent.
So
awesome.
I'll make sure I share the link, but under Chicago Clubhouse Podcast, we have playlists for our different shows. I have my own playlist so people can check out all of my shows and all my future ones. It streams live though on Facebook. It's just not as easy to navigate from the prior Facebook ones, but the YouTube is very easy to go. And someday I'll get on Spotify. you know, it's a little bit harder sometimes because so much of it is video and you're like, do I want to be audio only? I don't know.
Yeah.
TBD. But
Yeah.
I will send you that link.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I want to remind everybody to go follow me on Instagram at Dominique V. Blake. Right now, I am doing something super special with East Bay Magazine. We're giving away. We have a run experience for all of April, and we're giving away some Brooks Ghost 13. Next weekend, you can catch me in Las Vegas at the NFL Draft, just doing some cool things. Listen, any opportunity I can get to be in a cool space while working, I'm going to take it. I said, Erica, pack your bags. We have a mini vacation, and that's what we're going to do.
I love
it. Yes. Thank you again, ladies.
Thank you, Dom. We'll talk to you later, but thank you for coming on.
Yes. All right,
good
ladies.
night.
Have a good night.
Bye. Oh, man.
That was fun.
Dom. That was so much fun.
I could have talked to her forever.
I know. I was like, I gotta be mindful of the time because I know she goes to bed. Erica's like, we're shutting this down.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was good.
It was great. Oh, man. So now we can talk about her because she's not here. What would you say your favorite Dominique story is from our time at Penn State?
Oh my God. You know, honestly, my favorite Dominique memory is there were times where Dominique would just call me, and because she knows I used to go to bed very early. And she would call me and she'd be like, put your shoes on, I'm outside. And I'm like, oh, Dominique, I'm tired. I don't know. She's like, no, just put your shoes on. I'm outside. Come outside. It'd be like 10 o'clock at night. And I'd get in the car and we would just have a blast, just her and I would just go driving. We'd drive around downtown State College at 10, 11 o'clock at night. And we would just have a great time. I just remember laughing, my stomach hurting from laughing so much. So, I mean, we've got tons of track memories, and she was obviously an amazing athlete, an amazing person to train with, but she's just also just a very cool person.
And as Frank just said, that girl is someone you could never get tired of talking to.
No, she's
true story. Honestly, yeah, we could talk to her.
We could be here forever.
We could be here forever, but we do need to plan a little trip to Northwest Arkansas and go see Coach Johnson and Gigi, the man himself, and his wife, who is just the woman cool. Herself. Maybe cooler.
Definitely cooler.
Right?
Definitely
Love Gigi.
Cooler.
Yeah. And we have to see. When was the last time you saw Dominique in person?
Oh my gosh, it's got to be a while. It's been some years. It's been a while. It has. I just saw Coach Johnson a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks.
Was he at a track meet?
He was here recruiting. He was in North Carolina recruiting, and he calls me at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. He was like, "I'm here. I'm leaving tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. Come downtown, meet me at the bar." And I was like, "Coach Johnson, I can't do that. My kids are asleep." But I did.
You did, because he told you to.
Did. Yep. And we sat there and we chatted until about 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning. So yeah. Good times. So yeah.
I saw Dominique in, I want to say it was 2019. It might have been late 2018, but 2019, a little bit before COVID, because my work territory used to go down into Oklahoma.
Okay.
So I had I had work meetings in Tulsa and Eastern Oklahoma. So I just swung on over to Fayetteville, and it went to the Arkansas track, saw Coach Johnson, saw Gigi, Dominique came out. Just didn't even spend the night. I just, went a couple hours to hang out. And
I do need to do a day trip or something, or a weekend trip, something like that. So
yeah, we have to go.
Yeah.
Our memories.
I know.
So shout outs from you. Who would you like to give a shout out to?
Oh man. Okay. Shout out to all the really bomb. I've met some of this really amazing women, professionals, really inspiring women. Those last couple of weeks, you just have those periods of time where you just kept meeting person after person after person. Well, that's a really cool person. So shout out to all the boss women who are out there just doing their thing, who are not only concerned with like their trajectory and where they're going in their careers, but really also like kind of bringing up people who, may look to them for support or mentorship.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's what I got.
Love it. Well, I thought you were going to do these. So shout out to Brooke. Happy birthday. Shout out to Lena. Happy baby. Happy
birthday, Brooke.
I know.
And Lena, she's got a new little one. I've got a new nephew.
What day was he born?
The 10th, April 10th.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I was like, it was the 10th or 11th.
Yeah.
Our baby's got a baby.
I know, my baby has a baby. That's how I feel.
I'll be out there in November, so I know
okay.
I'll get to see him. I'll do my Spartan race out there in November.
Oh yes.
But yes, shout out to our Penn State track and field family. And that's one of the nice things about this podcast. Like you were saying, like I get to talk to you.
Yeah.
And a good reason to talk to Dom.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna have some more fun track people
coming up. Yep.
You're right before we jumped on, Shayna, your other friend.
I saw.
Confirmed a date. We got another. So we got, you guys, we got some really fun people that we are going to get some great stories out of. But next week won't be a track week. We're going into the volleyball world, and
I'll still be tuned in.
I love to learn about all the other sports too, because honestly, they're badass women in so many different sports and beyond. So, but finishing out, shout out to my network. Shout out to D-Son with the Players Pit. Him and we have some other side projects we're going to be working on. And shout out to Frank. I know he always watches live. Shout out to all the people that don't watch live, but watch later. My sister, one of them, it's her soccer season. She's coach. She can't watch live. But I appreciate everyone. And hold on. I don't have this is what happens when I try to do everything. I don't have the outro ready. But on that note,
this has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
Bye.
Bye.